come in time, but right now they are just three incredibly talented players who happen to be on the same team.
Speaking of incredibly talented players, they have against Alpine, Magic Bear had one of the more star-studded performances during the offseason. Really was a name that came to the forefront of everyone's minds that watched him. He is going to be on the offense. The huge double demo. And it's not all going to be about him. There's the supporting cast turning up and causing chaos.
I love what I'm seeing here from Parsi. That's absolutely brutal. Just 20 seconds in with the double demo. Waking up Turbo there, just in case he wasn't already. But yeah, we had the desk very much leaning towards EnVy. Even Leaf, who put his vote on Alpine at the end there, he didn't really want to. But these guys are a very scary team. If you're not familiar with them, then get used to them. These guys, I think, are going to be around. They're going to be making deep runs in tournaments all year. And I expect that they're going to make it through into the second stage without too much difficulty, although EnVy have definitely got the edge in this matchup.
Well, I think if Alpine are to win this one, they need to stay in the same sort of pace that we have had them start this one. EnVy will not be outdone in terms of fundamentals and rotation. But what they can potentially be outdone on is pure mechanical ability, as it's going to be straight into the middle. That is a shot to take, but no real zest on it. Breaks the other side of the field. Percy does have Magic Bear, but he doesn't have the boost to really work with. EnVy didn't know that, though. Here comes Jordan for the shot. Takes a save from Turbo. And Magic Bear just buys a little bit of time. His team is now back into good positions.
Yeah, so far, I'd say have to give the edge to Alpine, but EnVy are getting the ball out of defense without too much difficulty. Alpine have to be careful. They need to look out for the Turbo plays. You never know when he's going to miss the ball and then full up onto it and catch everybody off guard. In fact, he almost did it once already this game.
Turbo is one of the most ridiculously hard players to read in the world. You know what he's supposed to do. He knows what he's supposed to do. He might not execute on it half the time, and it has had very wild success throughout his career. Now, what has been interesting is how those balls down the middle so far for EnVy have gone relatively unchallenged by Alpine. Often find themselves trying to rotate back as they come in. Might be able to make use of those. Turbo will be unchallenged. Here comes Magic Bear. Almost caused a little bit too much hassle for him and the rest of the team.
Still, though, good air dribbling play from the three Alpine players. They're proving to be a good match for EnVy mechanically already. This is something that we did expect coming into this. It's not so much the mechanics of Alpine, it's the rotational play. That's the great pre-jump by Turbo. He just stayed with that one and read it well. Got a good block on it. But look at this from Alpine. They're starting to thread together some passes. Double interception coming in for EnVy, though. The time is getting away from them, and EnVy haven't had that many opportunities to line up shots at the Alpine net.
No, it's going to be interesting to see how Alpine are going to adjust later on in this game. They've definitely got the players that can buy a lot of time off that clock if they just want to hand it to them and go for some air dribbles. It's a testing shot from Magic Bear. Just didn't want to overcommit to it. More of a trying not to lose possession sort of play. But this has been good. They are not allowing Team EnVy to take the ball in a way that they want to. They're not giving them time to spot the play. Instead, it's all been very reactionary. Right down the middle. Here's that midfield shot, though. It's going to be followed from miss. That's the third time we've seen it. And finally, Team EnVy have got the result they wanted.
Brilliant pass by Turbo to Mist initially, and then another great pass from Atomic to Mist. Magic Bear really expecting a shot there from Atomic, who was already quite high above the ball. Then he managed to air roll back down to get underneath it, send it into the crossbar. So Mist on the receiving end of some great team plays. EnVy back in the game.
Here's Turbo one more time. Good block from Percy. And as good as Alpine have been to start us off here, that last goal they were warned about. It has been quite a few times EnVy have gone for that play. Still able to sneak it through. Now just over a minute left. Jordan tries to outpace Turbo, gets a second touch. Gonna force Magic Bear to the air. A little bit more boost from him. Mist reads it. He's gonna try and follow. Percy just tries to catch him in the corner. Maybe catch the double commit from both Mist and Atomic. Oh, that's not a good ball. Mist over to Jordan. Right down the middle for Atomic. Almost calamity for Team EnVy, but we stay at 1 each.
Yeah, that's really not what they wanted in that position. They got away with it, though. Don't think that the Alpine player was expecting a pass into the center like that. They've still got a lot of space to work with here. Let's see if Jordan can make anything happen off the wall. He'll have his dodge again. Magic Bear comes in and takes it off him, and that's not good enough. It's just going to fall right into Mist's path, and he can slam that clear. The knock-ons in midfield have been effective for both teams. They're tracking the ball down quite well whenever it's self-cleared. That's the complete scramble for EnVy. All three players are up in the air. Nobody can get the follow-up shot. Magic Bear puts them ahead by 1 goal again with 10 seconds to go.
That is just the worst possible solution for Team EnVy to deal with that. Full credit, though, to Magic Bear. He could not have placed that shot any better. Team EnVy were about to recover, but now, can they recover from this? 10 seconds left on the clock. And they need that opportunity. It's going to bounce up. Percy's going to be outpaced by Turbo on net. But Magic Bear is staying around. Jordan wants to stay as a passing option. And the ball will hit the ground. Alpine Esports have got game 1.
Surprise, surprise. It's not EnVy taking the lead here. And also a stolen game as well. But really, not in the sense that Alpine didn't deserve this, but because EnVy triple committed for 1 save at the end of this game. And it wasn't like that shot was completely terrifying and they had no time to react to it. It looked like it was coming in pretty slowly, really. Only the follow-up shot from Magic Bear had some venom on it. And, like you said, great placement on that. He needed to put it top corner because with 3 goalkeepers landing in the net, everything else is pretty much covered.
I feel like that previous thing you said, that the fact that the shot wasn't that fast, those are the ones that usually cause the most chaos from my experience. Yeah. I know, especially towards the start of the game, there was a lot of players I spoke to that said, look, launch one at me. I know how to deal with that. I know that if I'm first person, I've got to go. But in a game like this, where it's so first decision, best decision, if you have that little split second where you have to hesitate, that's where chaos starts.
It's true. All you needed, though, is 1 player for EnVy to keep his cool, to just stay on the ground, and then they'd have somebody to follow up on 50-50 with Magic Bear, preventing the goal, most likely. But all 3 of them panicked, and that's either, a breakdown of communication, nobody just taking command of the situation and informing their teammates about how their boost situation is, whether or not they're going to be able to reach the ball if it comes in a shooting angle. They've got to get that information into the communication ahead of time, because when you've got that small window between the shot and the save to work with, you can't play that reactively. You can't, wait to see what's going to happen and then make a call.
You did say that the last game was a bit of a steal in terms of how the goal went in. Definitely no arguments, though, about how Alpine played it. Very much were neutrally the same, if not a little better for the first half of the game. Can they maintain it here? It's going to be the follow-up shot. Percy managed to recover to help out Magic Bear. Still good pressure, though, coming out from Turbo Pulsar and the rest of Team EnVy. And 1 step closer as well to Leafex being correct, despite how, unconfident. Definitely didn't take the stumpy route on that one, as that's going to be on target. Good save from Mist.
Yeah, despite his best efforts to back out of that prediction as far as he could, he was just getting far and far away from that line. Kind of regretting that choice, but now he's going to love it. You'll be really glad that he went for that. And EnVy are still, they look vulnerable, Shogun. They've, not been positioning completely safely to collect these hard clears. They're having to track back a little before running back onto these. So definitely a very even-looking game. This isn't something where EnVy are dominating, fixing what went wrong in the last game. This looks just as winnable for Alpine as the first game did.
There's definitely an argument to be made about the playstyle. Wait a second here. Mist tries to go by himself. There's not too much on it, but he has got the double commit out. Turbo Pulsar will be able to get there. Huge recovery from Magic Bear.
Yeah, he somehow managed to get another knock onto that one. I don't know how that works out so well for Alpine. EnVy will wish that their triple commit had the same kind of synergy at the end of game 1. Alpine playing quite calmly, and look again, it's the 3rd man creeping up. EnVy are eager to, get in control of this series. They feel like they should be winning, but in their hunt for goals, they're forgetting just how safely they need to play with their last man at times.
Well, it's also maybe a bit of a stylistic thing as well we can look at, because EnVy have not been known to set the pace during this offseason. Phenomenal reacting to it.
Yeah.
But a very quick pace that you can see from like an NRG or any teams like that. They react very well against a team that they might not know how well they can hit the ball. maybe sometimes a bit of a slice shot from Alpine, it might make that reactionary style more difficult to accomplish the goal that you're after.
Yeah, we're seeing an EnVy team who know they're the favorites, and also we can't say that results from community tournaments in the off season, as well as the grid tournaments in the past 2 weeks, we can't say that they've really translated to RLCSX regionals all that well. Look at the flip reset plays from Alpine. Parsy's committed as third man here. Magic Bear has no boost in the recovery. Turbo will take some time, but ends up just giving the ball away. That's not good enough from Turbo.
Off to the backboard. Mist does make contact. That's crucial from him. If he didn't get it, second player would have been needed. That would have given a lot of room for Alpine to work with. Here is Percy. Midfield now fully in control. Jordan already up there. Passes it to Percy. And somehow Turbo in the right spot. But Alpine continuing to be just as deadly as they were earlier on. Still 0-0.
Yeah, that pass was disgusting. Drop down. But an even better save from Turbo Pulsar to avoid own goaling there. Must have been difficult for him. As you know, that's something he's always thinking about and very well known for.
Turbo doesn't do forced own goals. He will own goal when he is good and ready. You don't get to tell him when he's going to do it.
It's not impactful enough yet. He's going to wait until 10 seconds to go.
Off the backboard, Jordan makes the call. Could have been very easy for him and Percy to both double commit. Here is Atomic now taking 2 players out. Percy's going to be trying to react late. Right across the middle. It is a tap in for Turbo.
Yeah, really good play here. Look at the demo off the ball by Turbo Pulsar, I believe, on the backfield. That means that there's just nobody there for that center ball. And Atomic's recovery at the halfway line was also fantastic. He baited in 2 players, and it's that ability to get the ball past 2 players that really makes Atomic the standout for EnVy's offense. Here's Mist for the double. It's into the bar, and the follow-up from Turbo's good. That's the second goal of the game for Turbo Pulsar as EnVy just roar into the lead here. This is full control now.
Yeah, this is where EnVy want to be. They really need to see both Mist and Atomic showing off what they can do mechanically, take out a couple of players. And you always know Turbo is going to read the game quick enough to be the first man to the shot. So realistically, you know, as much as you would expect Turbo to sort of set a foundation and a pace for this team, if they want to create goal-scoring opportunities, you're not expecting to come from him. You will expect his 2 teammates to be doing that. Off the backboard, Magic Bear reads that really well.
Looks like Alpine might need to up the pace a bit more. They're going for, you know, many finesse touches, lots of flip resets, lots of slow air dribbles, but EnVy are just diving in right now. They are not giving any time to the Alpine players to set up these shots, and I don't think that they're going to after the success they've seen at the end of this game. They're most likely going to continue just lunging into these aerial challenges in Game 3.
And Team EnVy able to hold Alpine to absolutely nothing on the scoreboard. And that's a little bit dangerous for Alpine, because as much success as they did find earlier on with those slow plays, it seems like EnVy have cleaned it up. They have had almost no time really in their final third for long stretches, which we did see a lot of in Game 1. Instead, EnVy doing a great job finding the hard clears, and if they couldn't do that, finding someone in the midfield to lay the ball off to.
Yeah, there was this good follow-up from the corner play. A couple of times the ball centers, and Turbo is the first on the scene.
Look at that,
by
my
quite
goodness.
a long way. Yeah, great pass as well from Jordan. This save is from Turbo, like I said earlier, even more impressive to me. He spotted the pass coming down off the back wall. He knew that was coming, and he managed to get his car between the ball and the goal. That really was the turning point. If Alpine had gone 1 goal ahead at that moment, then that's really bad news for EnVy. You know, you're down a game, you didn't score, you know, for quite a long time in this series. And Alpine are playing a solid defensive game, I would say. They're not really getting stuck in the goal area for very long. And let's see if EnVy can keep up those high success rate on their challenges on the Alpine aerial plays.
Now, right now for me, Johnny, this series is looking like it's going to be more for seeding than anything else. Really could not imagine either of these 2 teams playing like this right now, not making it through to next week.
Oh, surely not.
But you'd also, you know, next week is the brutal stage. That is when everything is stacked. You'll want to be getting that 3-0 in this next game. We'll be giving one of these teams that match point to give them the chance to do so.
Especially since, you do have the one really big team over in the other group, Space Station, going 3-0. You want to avoid them at all costs. You cannot afford to slip through with a last place seed in this group. You run the risk of running into SSG in the first game. Get the worst start possible. Yeah, it's likely that EnVy will be able to transition this into a win from here. You would be surprised if after a 2-0 win they struggle to keep this series moving in their direction. Oh, the physical play from Magic Bear, though. Saved by Mist.
Yeah, Percy just couldn't find the extra flick to try and really put some power on it. Gave Mist a little bit of time to get back. Percy and Atomic having a scuffle in the midfield. Will not matter, though, because there's a 2v2 on the other side. Magic Bear tries to catch. What a play that would have been. Almost managed to just hook the ball in off his car. Turbo will play the ball to the other side of the field. Tries to open up a little bit of space for his team. So far, Team EnVy very much stuck. Magic Bear gonna try and leave it for Jordan. Gonna be called in. Oh no, Magic Bear has really taken out his third man, and Team EnVy will get away.
Yeah, Magic Bear, he thought Percy was ready for that high pass back as he knocked it up onto the wall. Percy had actually turned the other direction. Well, maybe a bit of inexperience there in that position. One of the advantages of playing together for longer is you know what the tendencies are for your teammates as they pass back. Look at the team pitch. Oh my goodness, Magic Bear and Jordan put together goal of the series. Unreal transition for defense.
I'm sorry, Mist. There was absolutely no chance for you, lads. Thunderous from Alpine. And if you wanted a way to really disrupt the momentum and the rhythm that Team EnVy had built up in the last game, that was the way to do it. A little bit of a scare now for Team EnVy, but Turbo looks good by himself. Tries to set it for Mist. Mist on low boost, doesn't matter. It was actually his low boost that meant he could slow play it, and Alpine couldn't figure it out.
Oh, that's ridiculous. So Mist, he didn't have a choice. Like you said, he had to go late for this one. The mind game was the only thing that would work in that position, but at least he played his scoring condition really well. He figured out the way that he could get the ball past a player who has more boost than himself. EnVy looking for a second one immediately. Turbo bumps Percy off the back wall, but Jordan is the first to collect the ball as it bounces out into the middle. Let's see if we get time on the ball this time for Alpine. They actually did have time on that one, but nothing came off it. Oh, that's a misplay. And it's open for Atomic. 2-1, EnVy. Pick up a freebie.
I am so confused by what Magic Bear was trying to accomplish. I'm assuming he's just not had the pace to get to it.
Yeah.
Ends up just diving straight past it. So it definitely looks worse than it actually was. But it is now 2-1 to Team EnVy. They have managed to get this game back, and they've done it very quickly. Now, one thing I want to bring to your attention here, Johnny, is we've seen it yet again. Team EnVy are getting a lot of pressure off these kickoffs. That is their fourth time now they've managed to force the ball into their opposing side of the field, and the previous one was their third attempt. They actually managed to get a shot off it.
Yeah, they're doing well in that regard. I think Alpine are ready for it now. Oh, good mid-air bump there, but the follow-up from Turbo is still good. Creative defensive play by Alpine, but they couldn't keep out the second shot once again. And Turbo, proven to be quite the predator in this series. Great timing as he arrives in the box right when the ball drops.
He's one of the most interesting players in the world to watch when you can get a hold of replays and just sit on his POV. It feels like, you know, there's forms that have to be filled out before Turbo Pulsar is going to do a double jump. He just glues himself to the ground until he knows that, okay, I have to go for this. The rest of the time, not quite so committal.
Well, at least now we'll know next time when somebody tries to pass the ball too high and Turbo just leaves it. We'll know it's just
bureaucracy.
The form wasn't filled in properly. Wasn't signed and dated. It's looking better and better for EnVy. Alpine, I think, might have missed their big chance in this one, which was game 2. Of course, the drop down pass is the moment I'm referring to. That had just gone the other way. Maybe we would see a completely different series at this point, but as is, EnVy have completely taken control. They've thrown Alpine out the driver's seat door and accelerated off. And unfortunately for Alpine, they haven't found a getaway car to chase them in.
45 seconds left. They are going to need one pretty quick. Turbo and the rest of Team EnVy, you wouldn't expect them to be dropping a 1-goal lead, let alone a 2-goal. Turbo just pops the ball over to Atomic again. That midfield is completely unchallenged. Follow-up shot from Mist will be stopped. 30 seconds. Jordan tries to get to Magic Bear, but Magic Bear was just planted for so long. They've got to try and keep the cars in constant motion, because otherwise Team EnVy can spot them. It's back to the corner. Magic Bear wants the second touch, maybe a little bit. Oh my goodness. Almost managed to get the triple tap over off the backboard to try and squeeze the ball into Alpine. Still asking some questions to Team EnVy, but so far Team EnVy have had more answers than not. Up to 2-1 now, looking to try and go 2-0 in our Swiss bracket.
And I expect that they will, because game 2, we already saw that most of the Alpine Esports cutesy plays were being denied by EnVy, who have realized, okay, these guys are just trying to flip reset on every ball. They're trying to air dribble everything. Let's just go fast in the air and shut it down before it gets dangerous. Now, Alpine didn't switch it up for game 3, which is concerning to me, because if I can see that their offensive plays are being shut down, then surely they should be able to see that as well. If I don't see a faster transition from Alpine in this, or focus on faster transitions from Alpine in this 4th game, I think EnVy should be able to just end this one in 4.
Yeah, EnVy just, they're not reacting anymore, especially. They've done a very good job of sort of just leaving a player or two around, waiting for the play to happen, and then just waiting for the ball to come to them and immediately hard clear. It has been a very solid performance from them so far. They've been caught out on occasion, but outside of the triple commit we saw earlier on the goal line,
true,
they haven't put a foot wrong. The rest of it has been Alpine outplays.
That's the best part about getting your triple commit just over and done with in game 1. Just throw it in there, and you're thinking, okay, surely that counts for 2 mistakes. We can have a clean game from this point onwards. Maybe even 3 mistakes, depending how you look at it. So nobody was able to get a good clear. Now, this is the big test. How will Alpine respond? Do they have a different way to play? Because although their fancy aerial plays will look great against a lesser team, they'll be able to, completely outplay and annihilate a slower aerial team, make them look silly, and second best by a mile. It doesn't work against EnVy when EnVy are playing this fast. Now, Alpine have to realize that and switch it up, or this is going to be over in 4.
Very much seems like the download has happened. Mist sees his shot saved. Magic Bear tries to outpace Atomic, and he's managed to get him. Nobody back right now. He's got Percy coming up in support, and it's a phenomenal save. Not too sure who got it. But either way, Team EnVy are able to scramble back just in time.
Yeah, it was a good save by EnVy. It looked like Magic Bear had misread the bounce just a touch, but you've got to make the save either way, whether or not you think he's scoring. So far, I am seeing harder clears straight down the middle from Magic Bear and the rest of the Alpine Esports team. So that's kind of what we're asking for. If they can just launch the ball directly at their teammates, it's going to be much harder for EnVy to predict where that's going and to get into position faster, to punish it like they have been in the last 2 games.
And the main goal for them is just to try and find some space for, either Percy or Magic Bear just to actually get a chance to really tear them apart. Right now, a lot of their plays has sort of been happening from their own side of the field, or in the situation of right now, they've already lost one player, and Percy does a good job to try and avoid a couple of hits. Now the pass infield to Magic Bear, already shut down. Atomic.
Good read by the EnVy defender on that infield pass. It could have been dangerous. This is certainly dangerous, but Percy gets the 1-touch clear. It's still in the danger area, though. EnVy have scored from this position several times today. They're quite happy to wait for the golden opportunity to present itself and just continue to rotate around the midfield line until it does.
There's a lot of trust being put right now on that first man. As there's the mistake from Magic Bear. Jordan recovers just in time. But we're seeing a much more aggressive first man from Team EnVy. They play the ball first, steal the boost, and then go looking for some bumps, rather than the typical play across the middle. Somehow, Percy keeps it out. Still pressure on them, though. Magic Bear keeps it away from Turbo. Atomic looking to try and reset for Mist. He'll be unchallenged, and the shot not good enough to beat Magic Bear.
Love that pass from EnVy, just slapping it off that diagonal corner wall. Kicks off so far that it's really hard for the defense to challenge it. They just have to wait on the goal line and make a save, which they did. Credit to Alpine. They're hanging in this one, but EnVy have got the edge. Just like the past 2 games, it's quite clear. This is just a strategy that they're very comfortable with. What a pass. Turbo to Atomic, and there's no saving that one.
Sweet as you like. Alpine's defense sliced apart by the flip reset pass. And Atomic made sure he made the most of it. 1-0 now. Team EnVy have shown off exactly what they are capable of. They've really dialed into the way Alpine are playing and have found what has so far been the perfect counter against a team that's very offensively proficient. I managed to keep them to a 0-goal game and to a 1-goal game, which is really difficult.
Yeah, EnVy are just going to try and play this one out safely, I'm sure. They have been more careful with their third man. You know, it was game 2. I think they were playing quite risky in that regard. But now it's a very solid-looking EnVy lineup. So you don't have that same weakness with the third man moving up too far. They're just letting 2 players attack at a time and only moving in with the third when there's a very clear run to it. Oh, Jordan's put that off his own crossbar. He kind of had to. There was pressure from behind. We've got less than 45 seconds now for Alpine to come back. They're down a game. Are they about to lose the series? It looks like it because Atomic... Oh, Turbo steals it. What a play by Turbo. I don't believe he managed to secure this one by himself.
Look, Turbo did the work. Turbo gets the goal. There is no other way of talking about it. My goodness. Johnny, this first man rotation for boost and demos has just annihilated Alpine. They have had no response to this whatsoever in Game 4. And that's scary about Team EnVy is that they found something that worked in Game 3, and they've developed it further to stretch that advantage out even more here in Game 4.
Yeah, you can't mess around against EnVy. You don't have time, well, especially after the first game, showing them that that's what you intend to do. You can't go, you know, slow-mo air dribbling and trying to get double resets on the ball. EnVy are just going to go straight for the ball and front flip into it. They don't care about your mind games. You just have to play a very straight-up game against them, I think. Try and beat them with synergy, because that's maybe... I still think the one thing that they do lack at times, they're all such incredible players, and I think potentially they could be in the conversation for best in NA, best in the world. But for now, they just do their thing. They just take turns, making plays, and they look good while doing it. That was convincing stuff. 3 games in a row, EnVy 2-0 on the day.
Yeah, Alpine Esports, tons of potential, but I think they've just shown where the benchmark is that they've got to try and hit if they want to go from potential to truly world class. For Team EnVy, though, I mean, they were caught on occasion. They had one mistake, but if you're saying one mistake across 20 minutes of gameplay, that's not half bad. They will be one of the most consistent teams we see in this tournament.
100%. Alpine now 1-1, so completely even score for them. They need 2 wins out of the next 3 series that they play. Should they need them. I think they've still got it in them. They didn't look too bad here. And like I said earlier, this kind of play style should work against teams that aren't as fast as EnVy and aren't as punishing. They're probably going to be a really fun team to watch against some of the lower tier competition. Expect to see some bangers scored by pretty much anyone on that Alpine roster.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what we get out of them, especially when they do actually get the space to show what they are truly capable of. But Team EnVy this time around, just too quick for them. They were on top of every single ball from Game 2 onwards. And I think, you know, when we're looking at ways to beat Team EnVy, you have to be so quick at adapting throughout the entire thing. You know, they make a 5-game series feel longer than a 5-game series because every single 60 seconds between is a constant adaptation, but we will get to see more of them later on as they continue their quest to go 3-0 on the day. We're going to head over to a quick break. When we come back, Jacob looks for revenge against his old roster as NRG are taking to the field.